Hello people. Today I'm going to talk about the subject of deportation, and I'm going to talk about it in two different sections. So first I'm going to talk about the shame culture that has been developed around deportation. Personally, I believe that this culture has been developed through ignorance. A lot of people in Jamaica don't quite understand deportation. Deportation is very simple. It's returning an individual from a particular country to the port that they actually came from. 9 times out of 10, deportation means returning ones to their own country. Deportation takes place every year in maybe, if not all, countries of the world. For those who may not know, Jamaica deports people annually to their country, wherever they're from. And deportation worldwide have one thing in common. Deportation usually spawns from a violation of immigration rules, laws, or regulation. 9 times out of 10, someone is deported because they violate an immigration rule, mainly overstaying or entering a country or being in a country illegally. Of all the countries that I've lived in and visited and the cultures that I've got acquainted with, I've realized that Jamaica is the only culture known to me that finds shame in a person being deported. And I believe that this comes from Jamaicans valuing other countries more than their own country. I mean, a lot of Jamaicans believe that foreign, so to speak, everywhere else is better than Jamaica, in particularly England, America, Canada, and some of the European countries. And for this reason, Jamaicans over the years has always put a shame culture around a person who has been deported from a foreign country back to Jamaica. And I've always found it personally to be a ridiculous notion. I've always found it to be a ridiculous gesture to find shame in a Jamaican being deported to Jamaica. I've seen people deported to France. I've seen people deported to England. I've seen people deported to Germany. And there is no real shame in it. You know, there's no real shame in being deported back to your home country. Home is home. And what a lot of Jamaicans need to understand is that whether or not they have acquired a visa, a permanent residence, or in some cases, naturalized citizenship, that does not shield you from prospects of deportation. I mean, naturalized citizenship, permanent residences, temporary residences, or even visas. These are all privileges, and privileges mean you do not have a right. And it doesn't matter how long one has a privilege, that privilege can be revoked or taken away from them any day, any time, for whatever reason that country or their legal adjustments of rules and regulation may become. So I realize that there's this whole shame culture in being deported to Jamaica. And I just wanted to talk on the subject and hopefully diffuse the ignorance or diffuse the illiteracy that surrounds deportation. Deportation is a judicial procedure, and it is exercised by pretty much all countries of the world. Democratic countries and non-democratic countries, they all partake in deporting citizens back to their countries for violating one rule or another. One of Jamaica's first deportees, believe it or not, to many may not know, one of Jamaica's first renowned deportees was our national hero, Marcus Garvey, who found himself deported, came back to Jamaica and made a life for himself to the point of where he was awarded the status of national hero. Buju Banton, one of my favorite Jamaican artists. Unfortunately, I have to say Buju Banton also added to the shame of being deported in his song. I think it was called Deportee or Deported. You know, things change. Now this is a life art. That song by Buju Banton in the 1990s is one of the most renowned production that promoted shame on the status of being deported. However, Buju Banton is incarcerated at the moment, and deportation is one of those things that Buju Banton is anxiously and happily looking forward to, because at the moment he's in prison and he would love to be at home, and the process of him being back at home is through deportation. So I just wanted to use this opportunity to highlight to fellow Jamaicans that when people are deported back to Jamaica, you don't have to pity them, and at the same time you don't have to find any shame on looking at them. I mean, deportation for some is a very hard transition, especially those who have lived abroad for years after years and has established a home and a family life there. To readjust to Jamaica, it's a heartbreaking thing, you know, and it's a difficult thing. But from my understanding, Jamaica has put some aid agencies for returning residents in Jamaica, which could assist them in reestablishing Jamaica to be their own. So that is a plus. That is definitely a plus. I want to give thumbs up to all those people and all those organizations that are in place for the aid of returning residents to Jamaica. Like I say, there's no shame in being deported. If you're deported for one reason or another. I think the shame culture comes around being deported because, especially from America to Jamaica, or I could also include England, most people who are deported not only violate an immigration rule, but sometimes have been incarcerated prior to their deportation for criminal activities. You know, the thing is, arrest in England and America, where Jamaicans are concerned, it's a big difference than Jamaicans living in Jamaica. I mean, most Jamaicans live in Jamaica their whole life, have never been arrested, have never been to prison, have never been to jail, and maybe 1/3 of Jamaicans who migrated overseas to live in new country have been arrested, have been to jail, have been to prison. So you can blame it on culture shock. Some people may say criminal-minded. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to say deportation should not have a shame culture around it, because we stand out as Jamaicans to be the only nation who seem to find shame in someone being deported. And we shouldn't see it as shameful when someone is being returned to their home, because home is home. Jamaica is home. If you're from France, France is your home. If you're from England, England is your home. So if you get deported back to your home, you shouldn't be a laughingstock. The next thing is a bit more humorous, you know. So let me add some light conversation onto the same subject of deportation. Jamaica, I don't know, maybe it also happens in the rest of the Caribbean, but it's only been known to me to happen in Jamaica. Jamaica is one of those countries that if you live abroad and you come to Jamaica for a visit, if your stay is over a month, you're automatically presumed to be deported. It is as if you're not welcome to come back to Jamaica. It's like the day you left and went to foreign and made it your home, you are no longer Jamaican, and you're no longer welcome here, and you're no longer expected to come here and stay. It's as if the local citizens have given you a visa to remain in Jamaica. No more than a month. Anything over a month, you're considered deported. It is an attitude that has formed its way into the Jamaican culture, but on a serious note, I think it's all narrowed down to ignorance. I mean, I would like my Jamaican people to understand citizenship, understand rights, understand privileges, understand visas, understand residencies, and understand citizenship. I said that already. Citizenship, whether you have attained it through marriage or whether you have attained it through birth, you have to also keep in mind that there has been incidences in several countries of the world where birthright citizens has been kicked out of their country. Some went into exile and some have just been outcasts of their country for being a threat to national security. When you think about it like that, nothing is really guaranteed. None of our status guarantees us to stay anywhere, you know. So I want Jamaican people to understand. And the reason why I decided to make this video is because the shame culture that surrounds deported Jamaicans has put them in a class by themselves, where they felt as if, even though they're back in Jamaica, the minute someone finds out that they have been deported, it seems as if they become unaccepted in certain areas. And it shouldn't be that way. You know, we are Jamaicans, and some of us try our luck, as we call it, when we go abroad, to make life different or to make life better. Some of us goes with the intention to come back, and some of us are deported for one reason or another and end up back in Jamaica way earlier than we expected. But either way, whether you come back on your own voluntarily, whether you were deported, whether you were forcibly removed from the country, I want Jamaican people to treat our deportees with respect, with love, and let them know that home is home. I hope that my view and opinion of deported individuals helped you to see things even a little differently. Before I go, I want to say thanks to all my subscribers. You know, I appreciate the love, I appreciate the support, and I ask you guys to continue staying abreast with the channel and share my videos and share my existence in YouTube so I could have some more subscribers. Your support and your subscription helps me to feed this channel with whatever information it is that I acquire or I believe will be helpful to you guys. So, much love and much respect. Until next time, peace.